Hello, this is Amos Tarfa, Amos the Math Guy. I just want to talk to you briefly about counting to calculus. This is how you log into our course. You go to myopenmath.com. That's the course ID and the enrollment key. We are hoping to help every student in America have a vision for get into calculus, linear algebra, statistics, discrete math while they're still in high school. We want to raise the bar, and we also teach the history and philosophy of science and mathematics in our course. But this part is just a course about getting math fluency. So once you log in, you'll be able to see content from pre-algebra all the way to calculus. So I'll show you around here. So this is the first thing you need is the course ID enrollment key. Email amosthemathguy@gmail.com, amosthemathguy@gmail.com if you want to receive training for your teachers at your school, or if you just want more insight into math and science learning. Now I'm going to flip through to the beginning. This is one of the first things you see when you log into the course. There's a diagnostic test 1, which is for pre-algebra concepts, and a diagnostic test 2. We've made this assessment, or we've provided this assessment as resources to help us know exactly where you're at. Again, this part is free for people to take, but if you want to receive feedback, then you can sign up to receive tutoring or coaching from us. Now this is the first part of the course. This is a pre-algebra section. This is pretty much what people learn from first grade to about 7th grade in America. We've provided it to you now in such a way that you can learn it all in a year if you want, or even less. You need to know your whole numbers: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, your integers, which include negative and positive numbers, and then you go on to fractions, decimals, ratios, and proportions and percents. This is the pre-algebra section of the course. Next, this is the Algebra 1 and 2 section. There is no reason why Algebra 1 and 2 should not be taught together. They really should be taught together, and actually, we've been able to show they can actually be done in a year comfortably. You could literally do Algebra 1 and 2 in a year comfortably, no problem at all. We somehow split them into 2 courses and put geometry in the middle. That really doesn't help the case for students. So we want to encourage every student to take Algebra 1 and 2 together. Learn the fact that equations and inequalities are discussed in the same way in both courses. Polynomials are discussed in both courses. Factoring is discussed in both courses. Rational expressions are discussed in both courses, and so on. You guys see what I'm trying to get at is that sometimes we're repeating the concepts and it's not necessarily leading to mastery. As a matter of fact, it's disjointed, and so we've condensed it to one course. We give students the option to get college credit for the Algebra 2. So please note that you can get college credit for the Algebra 2 course in our Counting to Calculus sequence. Next, pre-calculus. Algebra 2 and pre-calculus are actually pretty similar. So notice here we're starting from chapter 3 from the pre-calculus text we're using. Part of that is because chapter 1 and 2 you would have learned well if you do Algebra 1 and 2 well. So now you go from chapter 3 to chapter 10. This is a pre-calculus section of the course. You basically learn these key concepts in pre-calculus and trigonometry. These are embedded into the same course. After pre-calc, you can take CLEP preparation and take a test as well. So we provide the CLEP prep for pre-calc as well. So you can get college credit for college algebra. You can get college credit for pre-calculus. You can get college credit for calculus 1, calculus 2, as well as statistics and discrete math. So you can get a lot of college credits in our program. And we want you to think again of the bigger picture of math. That's the vision, part of the vision of Counting to Calculus. Now we move to geometry. So you can actually do the geometry and then the pre-calc, or however you want to go about it. This is fine. You can do Algebra 1 and 2 and then pre-calc geometry together. I would recommend that you just do them in the same year. So notice you can do pre-algebra in a year, you can do Algebra 1 and 2 in a year, and then you do pre-calc and geometry in a year. So that means in 3 years, you complete 11 years of math education in America. You can do that in 3 years comfortably. We've been able to show over and over again that if you don't take summers off and you're willing to apply about an hour a day, so about 5 hours a week, to your learning plan for math, you will finish the American math curriculum in 3 years. What it takes 11 years to do, you can do in 3 years and be better than people that are taking 11 years to do it, if that makes sense. So if you give us a 5th grader, we can get them into calculus in 9th grade. 8th or 9th grade. For the 5th grader, we can give them more time in that pre-algebra if they want. So 5th and 6th grade pre-algebra, Algebra 1 and 2 in 7th grade, and then 8th grade geometry, and 9th grade pre-calc. Or we can actually do geometry and pre-calc again in the same year. We can do that. We've been able to show that you could do them side by side. That's part of what countries like Nigeria do. They offer multiple math classes at the same time. So this is essentials of geometry, reasoning and proof, parallel and perpendicular lines, congruent triangles, relationships with triangles, similarity, right triangles, and trigonometry. Notice that chapter 7 is pretty much going to be touching on some stuff you've learned in pre-calc. And then chapter 8, quadrilaterals, properties of transformations, properties of circles, measuring length and area. And then surface area and volume of solids, that's just a bonus review that people get. But that's taught in traditional geometry courses. And then lastly, this is just a list of typical topics in calculus. So every student should expect to get here. That's how we roll. Counting to calculus is guaranteeing that you will do calculus. If you want to do it in 3 years, we could get you there. If you want to do it in less time, we can get you there. But if you need more time, no problem at all. But the key is you have a vision, you're going somewhere. So amosthemathguy.com talks more about this project, and then you can email me at amosthemathguy@gmail.com. This part of what I've shown you is just the part about the fluency in math skills. We want you to be proficient in math. However, we want to teach math from a classical approach, math and science from a classical approach. What does this mean? This means that when you're learning certain concepts here, you're going to learn physics at the same time, discussions relating to physics, because calculus and physics came at it was together. Newton did the work together. Leibniz did the work with these things together. We need to teach math and science together. We need to teach physics, chemistry, and math together. So you see the point of the topics you're learning. But on top of that, we need to teach who are the people behind these concepts? Why did they do what they did? And how could you improve upon some of what they've done? Let's read some of their materials. Euler, Euclid, Newton, Leibniz, Maxwell. And so we want to know everything about the people behind the concepts and the history and the time period. I hope this was helpful. Please feel free to subscribe for more. This is Amos Tarfa, Amos the Math Guy. I look forward to sharing more with you. And together, by God's grace, in the next 5 years, I hope to change math education in America. While I'm working on that, however, I can help your family specifically to raise the bar. I can help your school specifically to raise the bar. So I still want to change it in America, but let's start with the families and the schools, homeschool families, private schools, public schools that want to raise the bar and raise the next generation of scientists, mathematicians, and thinkers. Let me know if you have any questions. Take care and have a blessed day.